The words sociopath and narcissist are thrown around like confetti nowadays. We do throw them around a lot. I'm actually going to agree with you there. And I do want to say, I talk about this a lot, where when we're talking about behaviors, I generally speak of people as being, showing toxic behaviors or narcissistic behaviors. My mother is a sociopath and a narcissist. But otherwise, I'm using words like narcissistic to describe a behavior. And at the end of the day, for me personally, it doesn't matter whether or not a person has a diagnosis of any of those types of personality disorders. What matters is their unwillingness to alter their behavior to be safe people. That's it, that's all. If they're not interested in coming to the table and being a safe person, being a respectful, kind, respect boundaries kind of person, truth teller, all of those things, be honest, be authentic, then it doesn't matter whether or not they have a personality disorder. We know, like, percentage-wise, there's a lot less people who are narcissists who are diagnosed with NPD than how people talk about there are tons and tons and tons of narcissists. There's also lots of different types of personality disorders. And there's definitely the children of people with NPD, for example, the golden children typically, who display exactly the same behaviors or very, very close to exactly. It doesn't matter if they have NPD. It matters that they're unsafe and that they're not people that can be trusted in a relationship. So I want to make that very clear. Anyway, waltzed. I have a lisp. My mother used to make fun of me for that instead of sending me to speech therapy. Fun times. Because I didn't have a, complex for that for any reason. While some instances are true, most are not, and very easily just used to give someone kudos to blame someone else for something they lack within themselves as some kind of victim card. And I answered you, and I said, when we go to therapy and walk away, we are playing the survivor. I will no longer be that person's victim card. That's the card we're playing. It's always so interesting to me when I see the victim card comment, because you come after people who have decided to walk away from relationships where they're being damaged, where they're being hurt, where they're being sabotaged in their lives oftentimes. Like with my mother was working overtime to sabotage what ended up being a very safe relationship, a marriage of almost 15 years. And we've been on good terms and divorced longer than we were married. And I'm really, really grateful that he is the person he is, the father that he is and was, and for all the support that he gave me on my healing journey. She tried to sabotage that relationship by basically telling him that I was a tramp. I'll use that word because I feel like it's not going to get suppressed. She told him that when I was 13, I ran away and I have a baby at 17 and I've been around. Like, she literally used words like that, not banking on the fact that, one, he was just a regular smart person who could see if a 13-year-old is going through all that, there must be something in the house that's wrong. He also has had a degree in psychology. He wasn't a practicing psychologist, but he obviously had a background in psychology. And his response to her was, well, little 13-year-old kids don't just find comfort on the street or find the streets more comfortable than their own home if their home is a good and safe home. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. And when my mother heard that, she went into overdrive to try to sabotage that relationship because she knew that I was about to glow up, and I did. Other things she tried to sabotage, and some successfully, me going and getting my GED at the age of 17. I arranged everything on my own, no help from her whatsoever. And then she's like, oh, we'll watch the baby. Her and my stepfather at the time, there's lots of dead stepfathers in her wake. And the day of, she's like, no, I'm not watching the baby. And I could hear my stepfather in the background going, we can watch the baby. Don't worry about it. No, we can't. No reason given, no nothing. And he said, well, I'll drive Marnie. I'll drive her to get the test done. At least I can do that. And she said, no. So I had to take like 3 buses with a gigantic Graco stroller with my baby and hope that I was allowed to take the test. And very lucky for me, the stars were shining that day. The proctor who was running the test held my baby while I took it, while my mother tried to stop me from furthering my education. And that wasn't the first time she tried to sabotage my education. I was her victim. I became a survivor. I don't play the victim card. I was a victim. And actually, then I was a victim survivor because I was surviving and getting better and learning that I deserved better while still being victimized by her. And I didn't really feel like I had the ability to recover from her at that point in time, even though I was learning skills to try to interact with her so that I wouldn't have to walk away. I was working overtime to try to stay in a relationship where all she wanted to do was destroy me. I look back at that and it makes me really sad for that young girl that I was. I was fortunate that I got out between the ages of 22 and 23. I was fortunate that she didn't have more than 6 years with one of my children, and the other one she didn't like at all. He was only 2. She wouldn't even look in his direction most times. I was lucky that I had somebody in my life that helped me to understand, and it took a lot of convincing, that I was her victim. And when people like you come on here and you make these really brave comments, you're really out there taking a chance, right? About the victim card. Isn't it interesting that it's usually the estranged parents, the ones that aren't going to be able to repair their relationships, that are out there shouting from the rooftops that they are the victims of their adult children who are just angry at them and ungrateful? Your words sound very similar. Your sentiments sound very similar. Anyway, I thank you for the comment. I think it's important that we talk about these things, and I know that that's not the result that you were looking for. People never understand why some people never understand why I take the time to respond to comments like these. And it's because for some people in their earlier stages of their healing journey, words like these really rattle them and shake them and hurt them because they've been told that they're in the wrong their entire lives from the earliest age. We've been brainwashed to think that it was our fault and that we were just playing victim when we were actually being victimized. If for no other reason than the power dynamic put us in a position where we didn't have a fighting chance or a chance to victimize the victimizer. You get what I'm saying? Maybe not. I don't really care. To all my peeps out there, I love you so much for the support that you show me, and the number of comments that I get like these are pretty minuscule. I appreciate day in and day out. I see your comments of love and support. It's for you that I speak, not for people like this. Then again, maybe this person will learn something. Kind of doubt it. But you never know. And if you do, ma'am, sir, don't know what you are, because, you're sitting behind your keyboard on the internet. I hope that you do learn something from this, because I'd rather make the world a better place instead of an angrier one. Take care. Have a nice day.